Hi, this is Martin Howey, founder and CEO of TopLine Business Solutions. In my business, helping consultants go out and work with business owners around the world. We've got about 1,250 consultants in 37 countries, and our job is to help these business owners find ways to run their businesses more effectively, more efficiently, and more importantly, more profitably. Today, I'm real pleased to have with me Brian Kaskavalciyan, who is an expert at teaching people how to get referrals for the businesses and how to build their business based on referrals. Brian's an expert at doing this. He's been doing it for a lot of years, and he's got some real unique ways to generate referrals on a cost-effective basis and do it very quickly. So I have Brian with me today, and I'm asking him if he would share with us his 5-step blueprint on getting referrals. So with that short introduction, Brian, thank you very much for joining me. I'm really glad to be with you
today. Thanks for having
me,
Martin.
I know you're going to share some good information because every time we get together, I take pages of notes of things that I learned from you. So could you talk a little bit about referrals and about your 5-step process?
Sure. One of the things I think business owners really need to understand, especially given our current economic environment, if you will, and what's coming in the future, is that if they really want to maximize profitability, if they want to make the most money that they can from their business, if they want to build a business that is an asset, something that will have value for them and for their families later, they have to become very good at developing relationships with customers. One of the things that when I work with clients, one of the things that I really hammer with them is making a sale to get a customer, not getting a customer to make a sale. And there's a small distinction there, but I think a very powerful one. What we want is we want the customer. We don't necessarily just want a transaction, because that customer is worth so much more to us than just that one transaction. Just because I bought something today doesn't mean that that's the only thing that I'm ever going to buy from you, or that I can't bring somebody else with me or introduce you to somebody that can also give you money. And so in my work with my clients, and from my own experience in my own companies, I created a blueprint, a 5-step action plan for how do you develop relationships with your customers so that you'll maximize your repeat sales with those customers and the referrals. And the formula, it's actually a very simple formula. Within each of these areas, within each of the 5 areas, there are specific strategies and tactics, and we probably don't have the time today. That's a full day conversation. We probably don't have time today to go over each and every tactic and strategy within those, but I'll give you the 5-step outline, if you will. And I think any company that follows these 5 steps will have no other natural end result than more referrals and more repeat sales. So the first step is a commitment. And the commitment has to come from the owner of the company. And that commitment is to creating a customer for life. Just having somebody buy from you once, okay, if that's all you've got for them, it's okay, but you can't build a sustainable business on a customer buying something from you once. You've got to figure out, how do I get them to keep coming back? How do I get them to bring their friends with me? And the only way that process starts is with a commitment from the owner to say, look, when a customer comes in, I want to put my arms around that customer, and I want to develop a relationship with that customer so that they don't even think about or ever want to go anywhere else. So that's the first step. The second step is earning the right to referrals. I think you and I have talked about this before. There's 3 parties involved in a referral. There's the person that makes the referral, there's the person that they are giving the referral to, and there is the company or the service provider that they are referring. And so if I refer my friend Martin to that pool cleaner, who is most at risk in that transaction? The person that's most at risk is me, the person that's giving the referral. And so as a business owner, As the owner of a company, as a provider of a service, your job is to make sure you provide that service in such a way that I've got an abundance of confidence that if I am to refer my friend, that you are going to deliver the service to him in the same way that you delivered it to me. That caused me to have that confidence so that he has that trust and confidence in you as well. Because if I refer him to you and you mess up or don't provide him good service, that's going to make me look bad. And so most of us probably have this experience where we're reluctant to make referrals because of a bad experience. I've had plenty of bad experiences where I've referred somebody to someone else or to a service provider, and that has gone wrong. So I'm very reluctant to make referrals now. So earning the right to referrals is really all about the experience that your customer is having with you and with your company. Is it a good experience? Is it something that is going to leave a good feeling inside of your customer? Is it carefully choreographed, step by step? Is it duplicatable? If I'm coming in on a Monday, do I know that if I come in on Tuesday, I'm going to get the same level of service and the same quality of product as I got the day before? Are your people going to be smiling? Are they going to treat me well? So that's earning the right to referrals. And again, there's a bunch of strategies and tactics all within that, but that's the core of it. The third thing is, how do we show our appreciation? You know, I can't remember the last time I got a note or something from somewhere that I gave my money to, that I gave my trust to, that I gave my confidence to, and it doesn't happen a lot anymore. And I think it really decays the value of that transaction, decays the value of that relationship. Imagine being the one company that actually sends their customers a thank you note. And I work a lot with home improvement contractors. So home improvement contractors, they send salespeople out into the home to make a sale. And I say to those guys, I say, look, whether you make the sale or you don't make the sale, your salesperson should be writing a note. You say thank you. Whether you get the job or you don't get the job, whether you make the sale or you don't make the sale, say thank you. Thank people for coming into the store. Thank people for giving you the opportunity. They'll remember that. Thank them after you've completed the sale, after they've given you the money. So I bought a suit, let's say, from a store, a men's store. Am I going to get something from them? Am I going to get a thank you note? Am I going to get a gift that says, hey, thank you. We really appreciate you coming in and choosing us. We know you had other options. And then if they make a referral, if somebody makes a referral, what do you do? I mean, this is one of the most powerful strategies of all. If I make a referral, or if Martin makes a referral to me, what do I do to acknowledge the fact that he gave me a referral? Most people do nothing.
Whether they buy from you or not.
Whether they buy from you or not, that's right. Thank you for giving me having the trust and confidence to send somebody my way. That's right, whether I sold them or I didn't sell them. So,
Brian, one more little thing on that, and you're doing an excellent job on this, but also, once they do become a customer, it's important to follow back up with that original source and let them know that they did buy from you.
That's right. Very important, yeah. Because you want to reinforce that behavior. You know, if they felt confident enough to make the referral, they're likely to make more. So that's the third step. The fourth step is getting feedback. You know, it used to be, it doesn't seem like a very long time ago, 10, 12 years ago, before the internet went crazy and this Facebook thing came out, and there's review sites out there now. It used to be that if somebody was unhappy with your services, they'd tell a dozen people, 15 people, but it took time, it was face-to-face, one-on-one. Now they're not happy with anything, whether they bought anything from you or not. They could go post something on Facebook, and now all of their 250 friends are now seeing your message, the message, and saying, hey, I just had a really bad experience with this company. Or you go online and you look at these reviews of these businesses. And so we have to be really careful. So we have to get our customers' feedback. We have to survey them. We have to ask them, hey, how did we do? What could we have done better? Would you refer us to your friends and family? And there's lots of different ways to do this. Some companies do it internally. I happen to believe that it should be done by an outside third party, but it really depends on what you sell and your price point and a number of other factors. But you need to have your finger on the pulse of your customer and their experience and what they thought about you, and what are they going to go tell the world? Are they going to say good things about you, or are they going to say negative things about you? That could work for you. It could work horribly against you. So that's the fourth step. And then the last step is just simply keeping in touch. One of the main reasons why companies don't get referrals and they don't get repeat sales is that customers forget about them. 5 minutes after, 5 hours after, 5 days after the transaction has been completed, how's that person going to remember you? They're back to their life. They've got a spouse, they've got a job, they've got bills, they got a life just like you do. So they're busy. So it's our job to stay in front of them, to stay top of mind with them, to let them know and remind them of the solution that we provide. I hear business owners all the time say stupid stuff like, well, they know who we are and they know where to find us. Yeah, that's a great strategy. That will work. No, they don't. They forget. It's our job. It's not their job to remember us. It's our job to stay in front of them and to remind them. And so there's lots of ways to do this. You could do this through mail. You could do it through email. A lot of companies are now doing it with social media. You could do it through phone calls. There's lots of different ways to do it. The point is, do something, but do something that's consistent. Do something also that's not always asking your customer for more money. Don't always put out, oh, here's our next special. Here's our next special. Here's our next special. You know as well as I do, there's nothing better than a newsletter, than a company newsletter that goes out to your customer base on a regular basis, that talks about not just what you happen to sell, but it talks about other things. It's got recipes in there. It might have a movie trivia. It might have stuff about tech. It might have about the new iPhone that's coming out or the next iPad that's coming out. But just interesting, engaging stuff. Just to say to your customer, hey, you're important to us and we want to have a long-term relationship to us. So Martin, those are the 5 steps. Again, there's strategies and tactics within each one. But if a business owner, an entrepreneur was just to adopt those 5 principles and work on those 5 principles, they'll see their repeat and referral business go way up, and their profits and equity value go way, way up.
Well, Brian, as usual, you've given some great information, and these are simple, easy to apply steps that any business can use.
Absolutely.
I always go back to this phrase that business goes where it's wanted and it stays where it's appreciated.
I love that.
And when you go back and appreciate your customers and tell them how much you love them, I always use this little concept, and that is your customers are very much like your spouse. If you don't tell your spouse that you love him or her once in a while, somebody else is going to come along and tell them. And then you're going to lose them, and that's going to cost you a lot of money. It's the same thing with your customer. You got to let your customer know you love them, you appreciate them, you care about them, you appreciate their business. If you don't do that, somebody else is going to come along and do that, and you're going to end up losing a lot of money. Now, how are they going to do that? How's that customer going to contact them? It may be that they market to them directly, but it may be that one of their satisfied customers contacts one of your dissatisfied customers, or maybe not dissatisfied, but unappreciated customers you haven't kept in touch with, and they pull them away, and that's where referrals come from in many cases. So the information you've shared with us is awesome, is usable, and it's readily implementable. So thank you very much for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Martin.